First name is LeRoy. LeRoy, you spell it with an R. O-Y. Clark is my last name.
What's the address?
1707 North 12th, Illinois Veterans Home, Quincy, Illinois. 77502.
Your place of birth?
Pardon me?
Your place of where you were born at?
Sterling, Illinois. May 1st, 1924.
What's your branch of service?
I don't follow you.
Branch of service.
I was in the Army, was all. In the Quartermaster Corps. I was a truck driver. Before I went to the service, I drove a taxi cab for a short time. And the fact I was a taxi cab driver, they put me in Jeeps because they call that light truck. So he got me down there in light truck.
Okay. And your highest rank was?
T5, technician 5th grade. That's a corporal stripes with a T under it for technician.
What's the day of enlistment?
Oh, I went in December. You got it there, what?
December 42?
Yeah, December 42.
To December 45.
Right.
Okay.
3 years and 19 days.
Thank you.
Were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted. I volunteered.
Where were you living at the time?
Sterling, Illinois.
Why did you join?
Because I couldn't get a job. I was still in school, but I mean, you couldn't get a job. I had no future. If I had got out of school, I'd have been drafted. So by volunteering on that, I got a choice of where I wanted to go. So I went to the Quartermaster Corps. Took my basic training in Camp McCoy, Wisconsin, Fort Custer, Michigan, Camp Tyson, Tennessee. From there we went to Europe by way of Camp Gilmer, New Jersey. Went over to Europe on the Queen Mary and got off in the 5th and 4th in Scotland. From there we went to Hereford, England, which is just north and west of London. And we stayed there until we got ready to embark for the invasion of Normandy. We were out on a ship at the time they told us what time we were going to hit. Because they had a heck of a storm the night before. They went in there on the 6th of June. And then the invasion. I drove a Jeep in. I had a trailer on behind with food and rations in it. And as we went in, when the guys I got off of this landing craft, an LCI, and landing craft infantry, when they got off at the end, they dropped a gangplank. But it didn't go to the ground. It only went so far. When these fellows stepped off that gangplank, they hit nothing but water. Just like stepping off a porch, no railing. And therefore, a lot of them fell. When they fell with their backpacks on, a lot of them drowned. I would say about 40% of the men drowned. But I was out there in a Jeep, and the Jeep did run. We drove her underwater for maybe 50 yards. But these poor guys, by the time you got to them, they were dead. I mean, because you can drown in 3 minutes. So what we did is we took the backpacks off of their bodies and took them on into shore for the medics to pick them up.
Tell me about your boot camp and training experience.
Just driving truck and Jeeps, stuff like that. When we was in Tennessee, we went down by the Columbia River and had to learn how to waterproof the Jeep to drive them underwater. And to do that, we put a snorkel on the carburetor and covered everything that was electrical and could stop the malfunction of it. And that was we used Cosmoline and axle grease to cover everything that was necessary underwater. Because it was just temporary anyway. We took it right off and you got all the water.
Do you remember your instructors?
Pardon me?
Do you remember your instructors?
Your instructors? Do you remember them?
Yeah, but I can't tell you their names. I mean, my memory's not that good. I can go back. That's quite a while. That's over 60 years, buddy.
Were there many casualties in your unit?
Very few, because there wasn't a bunch of them in my company, the company I was with. Because we were more or less transit. I mean, wherever they needed us. We worked for the Red Cross, we worked for the medics, we worked for grave registration. And they just call a recess in war and that. and you go out at time and pick up dead bodies and bring them in. You might have 72 hours to pick up all your injured and wounded.
Let's go on to the next page.
How did you stay in touch with your family?
Email. Our mails were letters. Oh, the email I took victory mail they called it. It was all photostats, and they sent it by wire. Take about 4 days for a letter to go home and get an answer back. It was very nice. Worked out real well.
Yeah, just go down the line there.
What was the food like?
Very good. We ate wherever we wanted to. We'd go from one place to another. We kind of earmarked which stations or which company would have the best food. We'd go there to eat. What they call a transient mess. Because we were on the road most of the time. Hauling somebody somewhere. Hauling troops, prisoners. Everybody had their own mess hall.
Did you have plenty of supplies?
Not all the time. No, you run short. And they had a heck of a storm a couple of months after we was over there. Things were short for a while, rations. Because that all had to be brought in from the States. You know, at that time, when your regular freight trains, your ships hauling cargo in about 10 days, they'd bring stuff over from the United States. They'd take it to England and they'd set it out in rations across the canal, channel.
How did people entertain themselves?
I didn't understand you.
How did people entertain themselves?
Oh, playing cards, threw rocks, anything. Mostly cards, shoot the breeze.
This one would be a good one.
Do you recall any particularly humorous or unusual events?
Oh, like what?
Oh, anything that sticks out in your mind as being unusual or funny or something that you always remember?
Just the guys you was with, you made friends. Yeah, I made a lot of good friends. Lost a lot of good friends.
You keep in touch with any of them today?
Not today, I haven't. No.
Yeah.
Do you keep a personal diary?
No. All in my head.
Do you recall the day your service ended?
Yep. It was in June 1945. We stayed over there then until December of 45. I came home on a Liberty ship, the SS Payne Wingate. Came across on the, what they call the Florida Reef water stream. It was in the winter here, but it was very nice at that time then. It was nice till we got almost to New Jersey, and then it got colder and all get out. So we landed, and from there, why they sent us back to where we was going to be discharged from, and they sent me to Rockford, to Camp Grant, which was only 48 miles from my home. The day I got discharged, my mother came and got me.
How old were you?
Just, I think, what, 21?
21.
Yeah.
Did you work or go back to school?
I worked. I went to work.
Uh,
Drove taxi cab, sold automobiles for a long time. Then I got a job in Atlanta. The last 5 years I worked for driving limousine for a corporation. That's better than working.
I think. How about this second question here?
Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
Not really. Just what we ran into.
Do you attend reunions?
One time I went. I went all the way to Nebraska, and all I did is got drunk, and I never went back. That wasn't for me. That wasn't my desire.
Let's see, what do I see here? Probably this one here, yeah.
How did your service and experiences affect your life?
I'm just learning you got to take care of yourself. If you don't, nobody else is going to do it for you. If you got to eat, you got to work. So I did. And I did all right.
Is there anything you would like to add that we have not covered in this interview?
No.
If you, when you're gathered with people, is there one favorite story you like to tell people about your experience in the war? Is there anything that kind of stands out in your mind as being something?
Well, a lot of people don't understand how we drove these Jeeps underwater. So, I mean, even these Jeeps you got here are fixed so that you can do that. Because on the side of the hood you got a hole where you push that fight, and then you put like a vacuum cleaner hose on your carburetor. And you had a tube just that went up the back for the exhaust. And I got its air from through that tubing. And so I drove off into that water. It was deeper than I was. So I stood on the steering wheel and hung on the top of the steering wheel to guide it. But I didn't have to go far because you put it in four-wheel drive and pull the throttle out and just keep right on going. You don't have to go too far when you're on land where you can move and do like you should be. It works out fine. But like I say, you can take these Jeeps right here now, sitting here on the show, and they're over 1944, and you can do it to drive it underwater. But not a long distance. I mean, you don't take cross Mississippi River with it, no.